Welcome back to Coinverse Hub. Today, we are talking about one of the most collected coins in United States history, the 1977 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. This coin may look very common, and millions of people still carry it in their pockets. But what many do not realize is that certain 1977 pennies can be worth a lot more than just 1 cent. Some have sold for hundreds of dollars, and even into the thousands, depending on condition and rarity. Let us begin with the basics. The 1977 penny features the profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front side, also known as the obverse. On the back, we have the Lincoln Memorial. The coin is made primarily of copper because pennies minted before 1982 were 95% copper. This alone gives it more collectible interest since the value of copper itself has increased. However, the true value comes from condition and minting errors. Most 1977 pennies are only worth their face value if they are worn and circulated. But if you have a 1977 penny that looks shiny clean and almost brand new with no scratches or where you may have something special, collectors call this a mint state coin. The higher the quality, the more valuable it becomes. Now let us talk about mint marks. A 1977 penny can come with no mint mark, which means it was made in Philadelphia. Or it can have a small letter D, which means it was made in Denver. The no mint mark and the D penny are both common. But what makes them valuable is the grade. For example, a regular 1977 penny in perfect mint condition has sold for over $250 at auction. Another sold for around $700 because it was graded extremely high by collectors and had almost no imperfections. But the real excitement comes from minting errors. These errors happen at the mint during the production process. Some of the most valuable errors include double die errors where parts of the lettering or numbers look doubled, off-center strikes where the design is not centered on the coin, and clip planchet errors where a small part of the coin is missing from the edge point. One famous example is a 1977 penny with a strong double die on the date and the word Liberty. That coin sold at auction for more than $3,500. Another example is a 1977 penny that was struck on a dime planchet, which means the penny design was placed on a smaller silver-colored disc. That rare piece sold for thousands of dollars. Oh, what should you do right now? Check your coins. Look closely with a magnifying glass. Focus on the date Liberty, and in God we trust for any doubling. Look at the edges for any odd shapes. And examine how centered the design is. No real value collectors use grading scales. Even though you may not have professional equipment, you can still tell if a coin looks sharp, shiny, and undamaged. If your coin appears new and has an original glowing copper shine, it could be worth grading and sending to a coin certification service. Current market values continue to rise, especially for high-grade coins, because fewer flawless examples remain as time goes on. There's always demand for clean historic Lincoln cents among collectors. In summary, most 1977 pennies are common, but in excellent condition or containing a minting error, they can become highly valuable. It is always worth checking. Your next rare find might already be in your change jar drawer or even sitting forgotten inside an old wallet or a family coin box. Thank you for watching. If you found this information helpful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more coin value videos. Let's help you discover treasure hiding in plain sight. Today we are talking about a coin that many people overlook every single day. The 2011 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny. Most people think a penny is just 1 cent. But some 2011 pennies can be worth much more than face value, and some can even be worth hundreds, or in some rare cases thousands of dollars, depending on condition, rarity, and specific errors. So if you have some pennies lying around, you may want to take a closer look because one of them might hold a lot more value than you expect. The 2011 Lincoln penny was part of the ongoing series featuring President Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin. The back of the coin features the Union Shield design. Even though hundreds of millions of these coins were made for everyday use, special details and rare errors can make certain 2011 pennies extremely collectible. The first thing collectors look for when evaluating a 2011 penny is the condition. Condition is graded from poor all the way up to mint state. Mint state coins with a grade of MS65 or higher are the ones that start to gain higher value. For example, a 2011 penny in average circulated condition might only be worth 1 or 2 cents. However, the same coin in bright, uncirculated, perfect mint condition can be valued anywhere between $5 to $20 or even more depending on how high the grading score is. But where the real money comes in is with rare errors and special production coins. Error coins are mistakes made at the mint. These mistakes are not supposed to happen, which makes them rare and desirable to collectors. For the 2011 penny, one of the errors you want to look for is called a doubling error. This is when parts of the design, such as the letters or Lincoln's face, appear doubled. Another valuable error is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin was not properly aligned in the machine, causing the design to be printed slightly off the center. There are also die crack errors, where you can see small raised lines on the coin caused by a damaged die. These coins may be worth anywhere from $15 to $60, depending on how noticeable the crack is. If you find a strong doubling error, the value can go up to $100 or more. And if the penny is in uncirculated condition, the price can go significantly higher. Another factor that influences value is whether the coin has a mint mark. 2011 pennies can have no mint mark, meaning they were made in Philadelphia, or they can have a D mint mark for Denver or an S mint mark for San Francisco. Coins made in San Francisco are proof coins, specially made for collectors. Proof coins from 2011 are usually worth more due to their mirror-like shine and sharp details. A flawless proof penny graded PR70 could sell for between $50 and $200 depending on the market. Now let's talk about the top recorded sales. Some of the highest auction prices for a 2011 Abraham Lincoln penny in mint state condition have reached several $100s. This usually happens when a coin has the highest grading level and looks like it just left the mint factory with absolutely no marks, scratches, or wear. Combine this level of perfection with a rare error, and you have a coin that collectors will pay big money for. So what should you do if you think you have a valuable 2011 penny? First, do not clean the coin. Cleaning a coin damages it and lowers the value. Instead, handle it gently by the edges and consider having it professionally graded if it appears in extremely good condition or has a visible error. There are many grading services available that can tell you exactly what your coin is worth. To summarize, even though the 2011 Abraham Lincoln 1-cent penny is common, there are certain versions and conditions that can make it worth far more than 1 cent. Look for mint condition quality, proof strikes, doubling errors, off-center strikes, die cracks, and high-grade coins. These are the types of pennies collectors want, and they're willing to pay real money for them. Next time you are checking your spare change, pay attention to the pennies. You never know when you might be holding a small piece of copper worth far more than you expected. Your next valuable coin may already be in your pocket, your coin jar, or hiding inside an old drawer.